Problem 7106, JR reduced figure A at right to create similar figure B. Part A, write all of the ratios that compare the corresponding sides of figure B to figure A. What is the relationship between these ratios? How do you know? All right, so first of all, what I need to do is find the corresponding sides. So we know when we do this, they're saying figure B to figure A. We know it's always copy over original, which means we're doing B over A in this case. So for part A, I see that I have a side X on my figure B, and the corresponding side just means, hey, what side on the similar figure is in that same spot? And in this case, it is 6. So my first side is going to be X over 6. And next, I see I have a 9 and a 12. So my next one is going to be 9 over 12. And finally, I see that I have a 3 and a 4. So my final ratio is going to be 3 over 4. And then we need to talk about what is the relationship between these ratios. Well, these ratios are still equal, so we will say these ratios are equal. How do you know? Well, they're equal because they are all, if we look, 3/4 is just 9/12 simplified, and we don't know what x equals, but we can guess that when we figure it out, that it's going to be equal as well. All right, so once you have that copied down, let's go ahead and move on to B. I'm going to get rid of this so I have some room. All right, part B. It says one of the relationships between the sides can be written as 3/4 equals x over 6. Find 2 different ways to find the value of x in this equation. Is your answer reasonable? Be ready to share your strategies with the class. So we need to figure out if we have 3/4 equals x over 6. There are a few different ways we could do this. We could make a graph. We could do a table. We could find the unit rate. We could do fraction busters. There are a lot of things we could do for this. We could also find a giant 1. Now, I do think that the last 3 methods are going to be a little more efficient, meaning they're going to be a little quicker than making a graph or a table, but you could absolutely do those as well if you wanted to. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm going to try my fraction buster method first, I think. So this is my first method. Now, I see that I have denominators of 4 and 6, and I know that to do the fraction buster, I need to multiply by a common denominator. Well, I know 4 times 3 gives me 12 and 6 times 2 gives me 12, so I'm going to multiply by 12 over 1. All right, let's go ahead and do this. So 12 times 3 gives me 36. 1 times 4 gives me 1. Set that equal to 12 times x gives me 12x. And 1 times 6 gives me 6. Now, do remember that that fraction bar means the same thing as division. So this is where our fraction busting comes into play. And 36 divided by 4 is going to give me 9. And then 12x divided by 6 is going to give me 2x. So I have 9 equals 2x. Now that 2x is 2 times x, so to undo that, I'm going to divide by 2 on each side. That's how I isolate my x or get it by itself. So I have just x or 1x. And then 9 divided by 2 is going to give me 4.5. Okay, so that was method 1, fraction buster. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this so I have more room for my second method. All right, and I think for my second method I'm going to do the giant 1. All right, so again I have 3/4. Now with the giant 1 I know I need to multiply this 3/4 by something in order to get my x over 6. So really what I need to find out is, all right, so I have 3/4 and I need to multiply by something to get x over 6. 4 times what gives me 6? Well, rather than trying to go through trial and error, what we can do is just 6 divided by 4. So work backwards to figure out, oh, well, 4 I'll multiply by 1.5 then. And if that's what I multiply 4 by to get 6, then that's what I have to multiply 3 by to get x. So it's a giant 1. It has to be the same on the top and the bottom. And you'll see when we multiply 3 by 1.5, we get 4.5. And it's going to be 4.5 over 6, which means x equals 4.5 because x is my numerator. All right, and we get the same answer either way. So that is all for 7-106.